The last time I held my sister's hand, it was hard and cold.
Angela's sister Ashley was brutally murdered in July of last year. The details, horrific.
They killed my sister in her sleep while her 10-month-old was in the bed with her.
It was a very rare murder in the small town of Diboll in Angelina County.
Profound, very profound.
The loss, we can all imagine, almost too much for her mother to bear.
I know everybody says sweet, loving, caring. And, I don't mean for it to be a cliche, but she was.
But Ashley's family says they're being victimized again, this time by a negligent Angelina County District Attorney Janet Cassels, accused of providing little or no help to victims' families in their time of great need.
I think they care about the crime, but as far as the family is concerned, no, I don't feel like they care.
It's the job of the local DA to prosecute killers, rapists, child molesters, but they have another mission. Give the families of crime victims any help they need to try and recover. That includes helping relatives apply for money from the state's Crime Victims Compensation Fund, money that can be used to pay for things like hospital bills, funeral expenses. It's a job Angelina County DA Cassels doesn't seem to want.
You heard her speak badly about victims?
Brittany Tarkenton used to work at the DA's office as a paralegal, and she recounts the derogatory way Cassels talked about victims of crime and their families.
She would say to our victim assistance coordinator not to talk to the families that our victims were in a ditch.
Why?
She just thought she was taking up too much time. She would only let us talk to one family member. They had to designate one. We couldn't say a lot.
At the time of Ashley's death, the victim's advocate at the Angelina DA's office was Donna Kreis, who helped with the paperwork needed to get the financial help for the burial, but it wasn't enough.
It was probably half of what we wound up paying in total for her services and everything. We had to go into the 401k in order to bury her.
Kreis declined our request for an on-camera interview, but Brittany will help us tell you Donna's story.
She had family members calling and she wasn't able to give them anything, and they're crying, obviously upset, and she wasn't able to do anything or she was going to lose her job. And she did eventually a few days after me.
Brittany says they were both fired to help Cassels' husband, Jimmy Cassels, who had won election as a county court at law judge. His law firm employees needed new jobs. The DA made it happen. But the DA's office has become a revolving door on steroids. Dozens of people have left in the few short years of Cassels' leadership. Some have complained to us about alleged bullying by the boss. Kreis had been at the DA's office just 11 months. When she left, she was the 6th victim services coordinator to leave in just a few short years. That should tell you something. Annette Archer has seen the difference since.
Since then, I really haven't gotten anything. I don't even bother to call them anymore because I don't feel like my phone calls get returned like they should.
Donna Kreis may be gone from the DA's office, but sources tell us she has left a trail of the complaints she made to Cassels about her treatment of victims. We've learned Kreis was criticized by the DA when she took a course that would allow her to be certified by the Texas Attorney General to help crime victims get their money they needed from the state in days rather than months. The Attorney General's office tells us there's no one at the DA's office today who has that useful certification. It's one of the reasons that on September 8th, we asked the DA for all emails sent or received by Kreis while she was helping crime victims. We asked for victim impact statements the DA sent out, and we asked for documents that would tell us if victims were given notice about upcoming hearings in their cases. On October 18th, we demanded production of the records under state law. We notified the county attorney we were prepared to file suit to compel production of the records. From the DA, from the county attorney, we got crickets. But we already have a clue as to why Christ and other crime victims advocates left the Angelina County DA's office in the past few years. It's bad enough Cassels accused of ignoring crime victims. She's also denied justice for many of them. Back in September, we told you there were 938 pending felony cases involving dangerous and violent criminals. They include 46 child molesters and 14 murder cases, including Ashley Schaefer's estranged husband and a second man charged in her murder. Ashley's mother-in-law and her estranged husband's girlfriend have already pleaded guilty for their part in the killing.
Ms. Cassels, was it worth all the time and money just for this?
We asked that question because instead of bringing dangerous criminals to court, Janet Cassels was spending a lot of money on misdemeanor cases involving politicians who were clearly her political foes. Like former County Judge Don Limberry, headlines announced dozens of misdemeanor criminal charges against him for not keeping records and talking county business once without an open meeting. All but one of the charges went away before trial. He was convicted of just one Class C misdemeanor.
I'm still maintaining my innocence.
And she was ready to repeat the performance with former County Commissioner Rodney Paulette until we reported on that huge backlog of felony cases. District Judge Inselman, who had the biggest backlog, announced the district courts would no longer hear misdemeanor cases. It was a message loud and clear to the DA.
Why do you think it's appropriate for you to prosecute these cases?
We had long argued the DA should not have handled prosecutions of our political foes in the first place. And in an interview with the Angelina County group, We the Watchdogs, the county judge cast doubt on whether there will be any more trials for Paulette.
Misdemeanor, as far as I'm concerned, is probably gone.
Yeah.
And the felony charge may be gone for.
Paulette had also been charged with misusing his office, but our investigation of that felony charge showed he had simply repaired property for constituents flooded as a result of bad county work. Despite the glaring headlines, there is no evidence that Paulette asked for a penny for doing it.
We didn't ask him, certainly didn't pay him to do it, but we do feel that it came from a good place.
Paulette is now fighting back, running to be county commissioner again, promising that Angelina County road problems and stopping overspending will be front and center in his campaign. Paulette and other politicians ensnared in Cassels' web claim they have paid the price for supporting the implementation of a county-wide unit road system. The Lufkin Daily News has trumpeted other candidates in Precinct 1 as front-page news, but strangely, not a word about Paulette's run. And one lawyer is already lined up to be the new DA if Cassels doesn't run for re-election. She shouldn't. Annette Archer thinks something needs to change.
The whole system in Angelina County should be re-examined through the state or the federal government, and every position should be filled with someone that cares and someone that can do the job.